What's going on YouTube? Kronos here, and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So today we'll be talking about my bouncer skill tree. I know something that people are going to ask for very early on, since everyone's leveling bouncer, what class or what punch they put into the class and the skill tree, not to screw things up, so on and so forth. Figured I'd go over it really quick, let you guys know what I'm rocking with to start with right now and what I'll be going with moving forward. But before we jump into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Chrono. I do content over here on YouTube. Not so much daily, but as much as I possibly can. If you want to keep up with the content moving forward, make sure to subscribe as we are working our way towards that 10K mark. But let's go ahead and jump into this. All right, so I'm not going to make this video too terribly long. I'll just go over really quick what I decided to go put points into, why I didn't put points in other things, how I'm deciding to pick up my trees and things of that sort. So start things off as far as class combinations go. I play one of two ways, either bouncer with a sub of force or bouncer with a sub of fighter. Now, sub force, I don't know if it's going to actually be necessary for playing bouncer. With both dual blades and jet boots, you have a lot of ways of regenerating PP. In most cases with jet boots, like one of your most damaging down tools is PP positive, so I'm not sure that force is really going to be that necessary. But to be honest, I haven't even seen the numbers on the frame data to know exactly how this works out just yet. So again, this is all prelim stuff. Figured I'd let you guys know, and you could decide how you want to go from there. But as far as the skill trees go, now I primarily want to play just dual blade, so I have a skill tree set up for just dual blade itself. Taking defeat PP gain, defeat amplifier at one point gives me the 10%, and then every point afterwards only gives you 1% more, so it's actually pretty low on the totem pole of importance. So what I do max out is partial destroy advantage because it's extra damage for parts destroyed. Physical decline, because of course we want physical decline, that's very important, and then decline amplifier to make it easier for us to get more physical downs. Then as far as points in our skill tree goes, it's just Fanatic Blade. That's all you really have in the skill tree itself. So we grab Fanatic Blade. So Fanatic Blade increases the frequency and potency of which your photon blades, of the frequency and potency of your photon blades for a set period of time. Essentially, you just press and hold your weapon action button and you shoot photon blades consistently. You can kind of run around and just shoot them for like 15 seconds. It's basically just burst damage every minute. Fanatic Blade Augment just makes it so you shoot more of your photon blades, and then Photon Blade PP Recovery makes it so your photon blades regen more PP. So if you're popping photon blades in between other PAs, you're getting more PP back, so it's very useful. Or while you're running to another target, something really cool is you can photon sprint and still be throwing photon blades. So super dope. And then of course, like I said, defeat amplifier is at the very end of this process itself. As long as there's 1 point in it, it's giving you the most for that 1 point, and then every point afterwards it's just 1%. So that's how I have my dual blade tree set up. Let's take a look at if I wanted to go dual weapon. Now this one is left up to interpretation because I'm not 100% sure about this yet. So I'm kind of on a toss-up point, right? So if you're going to take just jet boots, it's very simple. You just drop the dual blade portions here. You go for everything in jet boots because all of this is fantastic. You have your extra attack, you have your jet intensity, you have boot trick, bounce, counter, you have elemental set, which you absolutely need, jet sweep jolt, which is fantastic, and I believe has iframes the entire way through, which is insane, and then thrust drive, which is also very nice. Again, here defeat amplifier is lowest on the totem pole. Afterwards it's partial destroy. We want to get 1 point in each one of these. It's very important to go ahead and grab them. And then if you're just taking jet boots, you only want to go elemental decline. Elemental decline only applies to jet boots, where physical decline only applies to soaring blades. So if you're only going to go jet boots, you just take elemental decline. We take the point out of here, toss it into partial destroy. Then of course the points into decline amplifier, so on and so forth. Now, this is where what's left up to interpretation. So if for some reason you felt like you just don't need the extra PP, you're kind of like overboard as far as PP is concerned, and you think you want to go more down damage, you can go sub fighter. And in that situation, you may want to take Bardablot and Zondeclad. It may not be worth to grab Bardablot, but I really don't know overall. It's kind of it's tough. It's tough to say because we don't have the frame data overall just yet. So it's gonna be one of those situations where you have to test it out yourself and see how it's felt out. Zondeclad seems definitely worth it, especially in AoE situations, because of how quickly you can apply Zondeclad and then detonate it over and over again. It's super good. But the Barda one, I'm not 100% sure on. Now, if you're taking sub forest, it's very obvious. Just grab Barda here and Zonde here. But if you're not taking sub forest, that's where you have to ask yourself the question: am I gonna go ahead and grab it in this tree or not? And that's where you have to decide if it's going to be worth it to you. So Either way, that's how I'm running my trees for right now. It's not 100% foolproof. I haven't done like all of the numbers crunched down, but I figured I'd give you guys a very rudimentary tree to start out with. That way, if you just have no idea what you should be picking, you at least can deal damage and not have to be too afraid. And of course, the fighter sub tree is very simple. It's just 10 and 10, and then the force sub tree is everything right here. Like, the most important are these skills right here. Getting everything, so you're getting, of course, PP convert increase, recovery boost, eradication, PP recovery, and then afterwards getting these two here if you're playing jet boots, definitely useful. And this is just something that I get in case I ever use an actual rod, so that's just personal preference based. Afterwards, nothing else really matters. I've heard of people talk about going tech or sub. I don't see a reason for it personally. Yeah, you have the option of getting photon blast faster, but I mean, or you could just do more damage. If you don't get an extra photon blast in a fight, then it's not really worth it anyway. Maybe in like AoE, or not AoE, sorry, maybe in like mobbing situations it's worth it, but I haven't done enough testing to be able to say 100%. The only other choice I can see that makes sense here would be gunner sub for attack, PP recovery, and overwhelm. The reason being is if you're playing dual blade specifically and you're tossing out blades between PAs, you don't really get a ton of them, so burst PP recovery is actually pretty useful in that situation to keep your combos going. Now again, this is one of those situations where you'll have to decide and test it out for yourself, but if you're doing like long PP recovery chains, then force ends up being better overall because of recovery boost. It's just standard better than gunner's attack, PP recovery. But that's about it, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to toss them into the comments. I do have somewhere where I have my my actual builds linked. I'll try to remember to put that in the video description and grab the link for that itself. By the time I was making this video, unfortunately, didn't have the skill sheet updated that had bouncer on it as well. So hopefully they'll get updated pretty soon. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough. I'm super tired and I'm gonna get some sleep. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and yeah, peace out.